Hello, this is week 4. Now we've got 1 week under our belt of actually everybody being here in class. For those of you that are in distance learning still, not going to be too different this week. Next week we're going to get into kind of a transition now that we've kind of moved along and everybody's here into kind of a new way that things are going to be presented. So keep that in mind as we move forward for those of you that are still in virtual. So this week is going to be pretty straightforward as far as what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. We're going to have day 1 assignments focused on what is the New Deal. We kind of talked a little bit about what that was last week when we did our Pear Deck. This is just going to be kind of an extension of that. We'll start off day 1 doing a little discussion, come into class, sit down, work on this. Once we kind of review and go over this, then the vocabulary will be available. Now, the quiz here won't be available until the second day of class, and that's actually how we're going to start. And this, again, will be a summative quiz like we had done in the past couple weeks. So it's one of those things where it will only be available at the start of class. So those of you in virtual, please make sure that you check in on your day 2 of class. So those of you in 3rd and 5th, Tuesday at the start of your class. For those of you in 6th, on Thursday at the start of your class, and you can access that. And it will only be available for a certain period of time, that first half hour of class. And again, this is going to be one of those things that in the past we had done the Pear Decks in order for you to be able to retake. This time around, you need to have both day 1 assignments submitted in order for you to be eligible for a retake. So if you take it, you get a low score. If you want to retake it, you have to go back and finish those day 1 assignments. Now, for the rest of day 2, we're going to do kind of a little focus on this WPA poster and this analysis of a question, basically. So if you remember, we've been going through this process of looking at questions, and this is something that's going to be a formative assessment. We did something similar, depending on which class you were in last week, dealing with New Deal pictures. In this one, you're basically looking at the link that is attached, and you're choosing one of these New Deal programs. So pretty simply, you're going to go to this link, open it up, and you're going to pick one of the programs listed here. So if you see, there's 7 different examples of New Deal programs that were created to try to help with getting people jobs, to deal with things needed by society. So for example, if you click on travel and tourism, you can find examples of different posters that were created by the travel and tourism. So I always like this one because it's the hippo. It tells you the origin and purpose of it. You open it, you look at the picture, and all you're doing is analyzing this photo. So this is one of those things about a kind of a different way of going about developing questions on kind of the most, simple, basic element like a picture or a poster. And so what you're doing basically are creating those different boxes like we did in those last assignments. So when we were doing those research questions, you were developing those topics. This time around, I'm giving you some of the topics, and you're just going to answer these questions. And what we'll find out of this is that after we go through these initial questions, you're going to write a research question that is going to have at least 3 subtopics. So a big part of this is being able to write a question, just using this poster, coming up with ideas and what you know about the New Deal to write a question. And what we want to focus on are what are like 3 examples of these things that would help you kind of understand or start a process of going and doing initial research. And so on day 2, we're going to work through this together. And so we're going to basically in class be doing this. So for those of you virtual, if you have any questions on this, please check in with me so that you can complete this. Now, for your distance learning day, this is a summative assignment. This is a little bit more of a project-based assignment. It should take you a little bit more, but the realistic aspect of it is basically the same thing that you just did, but it's going to be done on your own. So here, there's a flip grid. You're basically going to be doing the same process, writing a research question, but in the end, you're going to create your own poster based on the Works Progress Administration. And so if you read the directions here, it tells you a place to go visit about the WPA. It tells you to go and look at different pictures, kind of what we did on our own, so like together. So this is kind of just an extension of that. You have a choice of different things to do, and we're going to work on this. In this example, you're going to focus on one of these groups and then also make your poster. So this is one of those things where this is the summative, but if you did the formative work, you could actually apply these things to this assignment. So like you've actually done the first part of this. The only other part you have to do is basically record an example of what you did on to either the audio or the Flipgrid link that's here. Again, if you have any questions, please send me a message. If you don't know where to go for that, there's this little box up here, this little envelope. That's an easy way to kind of message me very quickly through Schoology. All right, that's it for week 4. Again, remember that there's 2 summatives. There's the quiz, and then there is this distance learning summative as well.